not even a crust. All aboard for a fat boy trip, and you can call me captain. Don't forget the paper plates and the stack of napkins. P-I-C-C-A, P-A-R-T-Y. P-I-C-C-A, P-A-R-T-Y. Pizza party, pizza party. Gonna have a good time. Pizza party, pizza party. Have a sip of red wine. Yeah!
Ciao, Piezans! I'm back, baby. Here we go. It's April. It's pizza party number 4. I'm Joey Royale, and it is an absolute pleasure to be with you again down here in my mozzarella mausoleum with all my good friends. Let's get weird. All right? How you been? You look good? Smelling good? I missed you. Why are we here? You're joining me for the first time? Because I'm a nut. I'm a nut about this. I'm a nut about this. Dungeon Crawl Classics, Mutant Crawl Classics, everything in between. I'm a fan. What are you going to do? Let's talk about gaming. Let's talk about adventures. Let's talk about creativity. Are you ready for the great atomic power? Are you prepared to meet your maker in the end? That's right, a little Leuven Brothers to start the show. We're getting radioactive today. I got my pal, all the way out there in the Midwest. Luau Lou is going to be with us today talking about his new Kickstarter. I cannot wait. This guy is so cool. You're going to love him if you don't know him already. You probably do know him. He's been on the channel, on the Goodman Games Twitch. And then I got one of my good friends from Neo Tracks, Tony Obert. He wrote in today or the other day about our beloved friend SKUNKOR for Start It Up. It's going to be nuts. It's going to stink in a good way, of course. That's what we do over here. So I got some friends. This one goes out to my main man, the Neon Lord. He was going to join us today and talk about mushroom clouds and whatnot, but there was an emergency at the WHPA TV station, so he's handling some stuff over there, but we'll get him on sometime. So today, not like we got a real giant theme, but we're going to be talking about the post-apocalypse because, hey, it's bound to happen. So let's go down swinging on a rainbow. Let's go into the crypt of cool and see what I procured for all of us today. Hey, speaking of, what a day I had. Let me start with this. I started my day 6 o'clock in the morning. I was out there clamming. I was out there with her. I'm not joking. I swear to God, I was doing this because my wife was going to make some linguine con vango. So I'm out there clamming. And I kid you not, I'm thinking about the show. How's the show going to go? And I start chuckling. You want to know why? Because I clam right next to a nuclear power plant. So that's why I glow in the dark, friends. I'm not even making this up. I'm out there clamming 6 o'clock in the morning, thinking about the show. And lo and behold, right behind me, it was like a trauma movie. I'm clamming right in the bay of a nuclear power plant. So I'll let you know how that dinner goes. And hopefully I'll show up for the next show, maybe a little shinier than usual. Enough of that. Then here's another part of my day, I forgot to tell you. I'm so lucky. I got great friends. My main man, my sensei, Tim DeShane, came down with his daughter and ran some DCC for 4 11-year-olds and me. It was nuts. But before we played, he and I always go to this place in town called the Book Barn in Niantic, Connecticut. And I picked up a beauty here. Andre Norton. Daybreak, $22.50. You want to talk about mutants? This is a good one to pick up. I got it for $1. And if you want it, let me know. I'll send it to you after I'm done reading it. For more than 200 years, ever since the black days of chaos following the great blow-up, the atomic war, the cry had been enough to condemn without trial. Fear caused it, the strong, instinctive fear of the whole race for anyone cursed with a different physique or unusual powers. Mutants, my friends. Woo! This is a good one. Pick it up. Appendix N over there. We got that. And then, you want to talk about post-apocalypse? Might be a little controversial pick. Night of the Living Dead. You want to know why they came out of the graves? A satellite came. Boom! Radiation. All of a sudden, your long-lost uncle's knocking at your door looking for a piece of your mind. Night of the Living Dead. This is the soundtrack on vinyl. I found this at a flea market years ago. Holy cow. Does this soundtrack hold up for background music during a spooky adventure? It's public domain music that they paid in this. This wasn't scored for the soundtrack. They called it together. But if you get a chance, they got it all on YouTube. Listen to this album. Play it in the back of a game. It's scary stuff. This will turn you a little bit weird. Next up, you know I love this band. I brought them up many times. This was my first introduction to the band. And what a beautiful album celebrating the post-apocalypse as well. There we go. Black, it's a little shiny, but look at that guy. I love that guy with the helmet jumping out of the woods with the sword and the shield. Black Sabbath, Paranoid, baby. You cannot beat this album. I'll fight you over it. No, I won't. I'm a pacifist. But let me tell you, you want to get your brain ready for some post-apocalyptic fun at the table rolling dice? Electric Funeral, one of my all-time songs of the post-apocalypse. Electric Funeral. And then where do we all head after it's all over? Or who will save us? Or what's left of us? Why, the little gray men, of course. Now, this is not your average music from Close Encounters of the Third Kind soundtrack. Oh, no, ladies and gentlemen. This is a special one. This is performed by the Electric Moog Orchestra. We're getting synthy. You know Uncle Joey loves his synthesizers. It just goes like peanut butter and jelly with DCC. So there's some stuff to get your mind going, get my mind going when I'm at the table. What else I got in this pile of junk over here? Oh, come on. Post-apocalypse? You want to talk post-apocalypse? Dun, da, 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 da. Look at that baby. Now that's a quarter pounder with cheese. That's a Royale with cheese right there. Mr. Mike Evans, I'd love to have you on the show sometime. If you're out there in Spaghetti Land, brother, I'm going to be sending you an email soon. We got to talk because I just got this in the mail not too long ago. This is a beautiful piece of work for DCC, for MCC, for whatever you want, CC. This is by one of us. Hubris, a world of visceral adventure. A terrible and bloody place full of fun, violent adventures. This is crazy. It's scary. It's gooey. It's slimy. It's radioactive. Oh, chef's kiss. I love it. I've been getting into all this post-apocalyptic stuff because my main man, the Neon Lord, you haven't checked this out. This is how I met a bunch of friends. This is how I met Lou, how I met Tony. Neon Lords of the Toxic Wasteland. There's so much fun post-apocalyptic stuff you can do. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. That's a little bit of the general theme. What else we got here? Oh, let's jump into this. I like to read a little piece to get the juices flowing here. Steal like an artist. I'm going to open up to a piece because I was reading this and I thought about all of you. I do think about you often. I think about the comments. I think about the emails. I think about the time we share together. You are special to me. I'm not trying to say anything during this part of the show. Believe me, I'm a huckster. I'm a snake oil salesman. But right now, I'm being sincere. I appreciate all your friendships. Hey, check it out. Ready? This is an important one. Sometimes you push yourself too hard. You don't always have to be doing something. That's not good for you. So this is what my man Austin Kleon says. Take time to be bored. Take time to be bored. One time I heard a coworker say, when I get busy, I get stupid. Ain't that the truth, Ruth? Creative people need time to just sit around and do nothing. You have permission from Joey. Sit around and do nothing. He says, I get some of my best ideas when I'm bored, which is why I never take my shirts to the cleaners. I love ironing my shirts. It's boring. I almost always get good ideas. If you're out of ideas, wash the dishes. Take a really long walk. Stare at a spot on the wall for as long as you can. I love that. As the artist Myra Kalman says, avoiding work is the way to focus the mind. Take time to mess around, get lost, wander, my friends, wander. You never know where it's going to lead you. You don't always need a pen in your hand or a keyboard at your fingertips. Your mind is a beautiful space vehicle that can take you anywhere. So take time to be bored. Stare at the wall. Watch the grass grow. You know what I did today? I looked at a squirrel. You know how many ideas I got from looking at a squirrel today? It's amazing what's right in front of you. Take time. Decompress. You don't always got to be doing stuff. Time is limited, but don't, do what you do. Don't be hard on yourself. As creators, as people who consider themselves artists, you're hard on yourselves a lot. You don't have to be so hard on yourself. You know who are some great creators? some great artists, previous guests. Wolfmanzilla with Macabre, Volume 1. Ooh, boy, do I love this one. I still go through it all the time. My main man, rock and roller Kane Cathane with Ghostlight Crime, a beautiful piece. And remember, kids, these are all available on the Goodman Games website. And then, not too long ago, Zog, another great rock and roller. Chef's kiss on this one, too. Blackout in Crater Valley, great way to kill off some teenagers. Awesome, awesome game. Timmy D, in the place to be. We accept you. We accept you, one of us. And then there's this other knucklehead that you might have met. Hey, I got to send my kids to school. Come on. Ninja City. Ooh, there you go. Little Darkest Dice. Leave it somewhere where they at least expect it. Spread the good word of role-playing games and friendship and everything in between. And then, of course, I got this other little thing. Weird Heroes of Public Access. You never know what's going to show up in the mail. Watch out for some fruit pies this month. There's some fruit pies. Hostess fruit pies coming with every mailing. Just don't eat it. It might get a little bit weird over there. All right. How we doing? Hey, you see this? It's real this time. Last night, I was praying real hard that this was going to be a good show, and I pushed and pushed. Boom! Out popped the real mustache. All right? It's horrible. I know it. It looks like it's a chrysalis about to emerge. So if I get a big butterfly shooting out of my mouth, bear with me. All right. So we got that going. How's everybody in the chat doing? Very good. Nice to see all of you. Judge Jen. All right. Very good. Judge Arch ran Crater Valley last week. Super fun. You bet your bottom dollar it is. And my good friend, Elena's in the house. Thank you, Elena, for always making us look good, always making us smell good. Well, sound good, smell good comes right here. Guess what time it is, folks? We got guests coming over. We got guests tonight. Tony Obert. All right, my friend Tony. Tony and I, we played a little game in Neon Lords together. I said, Tony, you got a great brain. You got a great brain inside there. You got nice hair, too. You got nice conditioned hair. So I got to get ready for this guy. My man, Tony, answered the call for Start It Up. Start It Up. Here he is. Now I'm going to get Old Spice on this guy, and he's going to lose his powers. Hello. He missed you. Yes. Got still a little bit of that patchouli coming over there. Let's bring in my friend Tonio, all the way down there in Georgia. Tony, how you doing, pal?
Pretty good. Just pretty tired.
Good. You had a long day, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, wake up. You're on the pizza party. It's a 1 in a million chance. You got millions of viewers watching you. You're looking good. It's good to see you. Tony, I love you. You did a very nice thing. Not only did he submit a beautiful Stat It Up that we're going to post up on the screen in a second. If I send it to Elena, I hope I did. We'll go through it. But look, he also had some art commissioned of SKUNKOR. This is absolutely beautiful. Before we talk about this art, Tony, tell everybody a little bit about yourself. You should be very proud of who you are. I like you.
Thank you. I'm a professional chef by trade, because RPGs ain't gonna pay the bills for the most part.
Not yet. We're working on that.
But no, I'm a professional chef. I am a writer and a cartographer. I downplay myself often, but I'd say I'm competent at best.
I think so. And believe me, if I ever got lost and was hungry, you're the guy I'm going to. You got some pretty good skills there as an adventure, cartography, and cooking up some stuff. What's your favorite thing to cook?
I actually visited my mom not too long ago, and she asked what I wanted for dinner, and I was like, ooh, can you make goulash? That is my favorite thing in the world. I don't make it as often as I would like.
What's the secret to a good goulash?
So you have to make sure whenever you're cooking the meat, so you're gonna sear it on all sides real fast, and then you want as much of the frond as possible on the bottom of the pot. And then when you take the seared meat out, like usually you'd use like cubed pork or cubed beef, or both if you want to be crazy. Then you'll take it off. Then you'll throw in just like way too many onions and way too many peppers, and just let that all like sweat and just reduce down into just like almost like a goop. And then you'll throw the meat back in, pour some water, get the frond off the bottom, like if it's, seasoned super well. And like that's really all you gotta do. And then you just pour it onto some like potatoes or rice or noodles, whatever. But
Yeah,
like
I like the egg noodles with the goulash. I'm a fan of that.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, now you know what? I got to start eating before I start doing these shows, because now my sugar's low and I'm getting a little lightheaded and I'm hungry. But I'll tell you what. You know what? You know what's underappreciated, Tone? While we're on the subject, I got myself something today from the store I haven't had in a while. Root beer. Root beer. Hold on. That still holds up. Yep. Listen, do yourself a favor. Go out and get you some root beer. It's like the forgotten weird uncle on the shelf. It doesn't get enough play as it used to. Cream soda too, but cheers to everybody. Cheers to you, Tone. Tone, SKUNKOR.
Yes.
Oh, before we go, who tell me about the artist.
So the artist is his name is John Golden. You can find him on Instagram as John P. Golden.
Mm-hmm.
He posts stuff pretty frequently. Yeah, no, he is an incredible artist, and everybody give him a look, give him a follow, and if you have a little bit of money, just send him for a commission. He'll treat you good, like promise, because
awesome.
he cranked that out in maybe 2 days.
That's going up. I'm getting a frame for that tomorrow, and that's going down in the Tomb of Terror. That's going on the VIP wall. So
Sweet.
Thank you very much, with all sincerity, for that. And then we got this guy, Tony. You went deep down creative road for this guy. All right. Do we have a copy of what we could share? Very good. All right. Let's walk us through, Tone. Oedipus SKUNKOR.
Yes.
This guy's got some special powers, brother. Tell us about it.
So when looking over, his, what little history they actually have for him, since he wasn't actually in the original cartoon or anything, it wasn't until 2002 that they brought him in, because apparently, like according to the lore, they just hated the idea for the character in the cartoon. So like, let's just make a toy of him. Like, okay, fine, whatever. According to the lore, but
yeah,
they but no, so what very little information I had to run on, it actually gave me a lot to kind of play around with. And so like, do you want me just to like read out some of the stats? Like,
yeah, just give us a little, give us a summary of it. Yeah, they can see it on the screen. So just how is this guy using his scent powers? I like the idea of using it like a crossbow. That was your idea.
Yeah. So apparently, so he can like what's the word? He can like focus his stench and like launch it, sort of. And the first thing I thought of with that, I was like, well, it would be like a physical blast of pure smell. And then I thought, it's like, well, rather than it just being like, just a whole new effect or anything like that, I was like, what if it was just like, acid and, it kind of launched out like a little acid bolt or something.
That makes sense. Sure.
Yeah, so I was like, you know what, that would probably make sense. And its range isn't like overly far. It's 30 feet or so, or 10 meters. But since it, the range isn't too high, I was like, you know what, that's actually sounds kind of reasonable, because the smell dissipates, and even if it was like in a pseudo liquid form. So but yeah, the odor blast one, I was like, you know what, that makes a whole lot of sense. And then so the stench aura thing, the way that I kind of saw it, because in the original comic, whenever you buy the figure, it's a very short, bare bones comic, but the way that they presented it is you smelt him way before he actually got there. And so I was like, you know what if like for the first, say like 50 or so yards, like it just doesn't, or they're about 60 or 70 yards, I can't remember how many, but like the smell is like, it's awful, but it doesn't like hinder the characters whatsoever. So
Yeah.
it's kind of like, it's like a precursor to like, oh God, something's happening. And
Think
then,
who's coming.
animals
He's not
are
here
running
yet.
away.
He's coming down the path. Everybody get ready. Hold your nose.
Yeah.
But they're not puking yet.
Yeah. And like all the, animals are starting to run away, and even the bugs are starting to get kind of weird. And so then like even the closer he gets, then it just becomes horrible. And then you start taking in different stench effects.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's why I made the D6 table, because like the smell affects everybody kind of differently. And then after, it runs, like after you, run out of the effect, if you get affected by it, after it's like done, then you'll just, roll again, because maybe this time it like hits you again. You're like, oh God, like my eyes burn or something. And then the next time it's like, oh crap, like I just like vomit profusely.
He doesn't let up. That stink just keeps on hitting. You're not done just because you rolled well the first time, right, Tone? Like boom, boom, boom. You keep on getting hit with this. You got to get out of the way. This guy he snowballs or he stink balls into a big threat pretty quick. I love the tables.
Yeah, thank you. And so, but then whenever he gets even closer, like you're basically right up on him, it's just like an unbearable, like it can melt your weapon, rust your armor, just make you completely go catatonic or just faint or whatever.
Well, begin suffocating. That's number 6, man. Then you start to meet your maker.
Yeah, then you'll actually start dying from just the smell. But then like with his overall, like, attacks and damage and everything, and even hit points, I wanted it to be really low, because I wanted him to sort of be like a support character for if, you want to add him to somebody else.
Yeah.
So like a horde of whatever running with him, and he's just kind of like, no, you do your thing. I'm going to hang out back here a little bit. And just kind of
cool. Very flexible, creative design. And then what I really like too is, his weakness is every rose has its thorn. If he's around good smelling stuff, like everybody's favorite cologne, Old Spice, he starts taking damage, right?
Yeah.
He gets disadvantage, and he tries to run away.
Yeah. So because one of the things that I wanted to incorporate that was apparently he is very weak to his own smell as well. That's why he has a breather. But also in the comic, it was I'm trying to remember who it was. It was Mossman, I think, who like picked him up and threw him in a rose bush or whatever, and like he freaked out because there was roses. And I was like, you know what? So maybe he's not even. Yeah, that's the guy. But like apparently he
I remember what you did to me in that rose bush. I'm only trying to defend the forest. I remember that well. Everybody does.
Yeah. But like, I love the idea that he's not even immune to his own horde.
So he can't win.
So even with the, with the crit against him, it can damage his rebreather, and he's just like, oh, gotta go. Like, this is too much. Later. So like,
Don Provolone. Listen to this. My friend Don Provolone, how you doing? I didn't want to interrupt you, but listen, I just saw something. Midnight Green wrote Merman is my favorite figure. Guess what? It's Merman.
This is Merman. Repainted Merman.
They gave him another coat of paint. How awesome is that? With this, like you said, with his corncob sword. That's why. And this is Mechanex's, like what you were talking about, Tony. His chest vest, whatever it is, was for Mechanex. But this, I guess, is how he covers up his own stink, right?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So, yeah, no, I really love the ingenuity whenever they made the figure and everything. And the whole, it was made with a patchouli oil instead of like the other oils.
Tone, thank you very much for your Statted Up. I love it. I love the art, and your Statted Up is going to live on. And as we go further down the episodes, we're going to put these together, maybe in a little zine. If Mattel doesn't come after me first, but I can hold my own. All right, Tone, tell the people what you've been working on too, so they can support you.
So on my itch.io, I really don't know what people pronounce it as.
The kids out in the crowd know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, on my itch, my name is Roman One Day on there. Just Rome in one day. I made a little quick primer thing for new players of Neon Lords of the Toxic Wasteland. So it gives some like quick, helpful advice, sort of in the theme of Randy Savage.
Yeah.
And then on the other side, where if you're a prospective Neon Lord or Game Master or whatever, it has locations, and that'll sort of like help jog some possible adventure hooks out of it. It's just like a little trifold pamphlet.
Yeah, nice.
It's
I got it. I downloaded it.
Yes.
Yeah. It's a great piece. It's a nice welcome to Neotarix, like, getting everybody where they need to be. A nice little visitor guide, like you get at the mall, right when you go into the kiosk. I love it. Yeah.
And it's a really quick read. I mean, it's pay what you want, especially. That's like a big thing. Pay what you want. If you like it, then send me $1. I can use it to buy some meat sticks, or I don't know.
You can get some more pork for your goulash.
Exactly.
Yeah. Tone, can you stick around for trivia? You want to press your luck a little bit? All right. Thanks a lot, Tony, for being on board. Thank you for your creativity and your contribution and all that you do. Here's our next Stat It Up. You guys called it. Moss Man. You know that this guy's a god in the lore? He's not just some dude that hangs out in the bushes like me on a Saturday night behind the local Denny's. This is an actual forest god. All right, look at that face. Another repaint, right? Beast Man. They paint him green, they flock him, and they rub a little bit of pine scent. I got to go down to the gas station tomorrow, get one of those trees, not for my car, but to spruce this guy up a little bit. Hey, how you doing? So here's your next Stat It Up. Be like Tony and all the other heroes in the Hall of Heroes on Stat It Up. Make me a Moss Man. You get to be on the show. We talk about how you came up with the process, your favorite fruit, etc., etc., etc. There we go. All right, so we're gonna move right along. I'd love to talk to you all night, but we got stuff to do. Ooh, I'm a lucky man. I'm a lucky man. They say it's lonely at the top. They're lying to you. It's beautiful at the top because you get to have all your friends come over, sit on beanbags, and look out at the world. And I brought one of my friends in his beanbag over here today. What a handsome gentleman. Love his style. I love his work. As we pursue the post-apocalypse, it's countdown time for real. Kickstarter countdown time. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, all the way from the future, a dapper dandy indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, I got to put a little bit more on because this is special, a little bit behind the ears, just in case he wants to whisper anything. Ladies and gentlemen, you know him. We love him. Luau! Lou! Welcome to the show, my cousin Lou. How you doing?
Oh, man, it's awesome. Thanks for having me, man.
Oh, you're awesome. Thank you for having me. How you been?
Been pretty good. Life's super busy right now, but it's a good kind of busy.
It is a good kind of busy. I won't blow up your spot and unveil your secret life too much, but Lou, you're a good man. You too are a public educator. You're a father, a husband, a volunteer. You do the 4-H. You run games for middle schoolers. Am I correct?
For sure, yeah.
You do a lot of great stuff. And one of the great things that you do as well is you create, Lou. You create madness. Unbelievable things.
Yeah, I'm sure you get the same thing, man. It's just a bug you get, and you got to do something with it. Even if I was just chucking it into a void, I got to make stuff. You
got to make stuff. You do. You got to make stuff, and it's even better when people like what you make, and you get to share that with them. And that's what you're doing. I'm into this stuff, man. You've been gaming for 30 years. You got 7 published titles.
Yeah.
You're prolific. You're awesome, and you're a good dresser. Right now, you got something very special going on. Congratulations, right? Your Kickstarter is funded. You have a live Kickstarter. Give us the elevator pitch, buddy.
Sure. Okay, so elevator pitch is we've got You Can Crawl Classics. All of us here is going to agree fantastic game, amazing fun. Just brings the table to life instantly. Even if you got tired, worn out gamers, you throw a little Mutant Crawl Classics on there. Everything's new and exotic to them. So we're taking post-apoc characters, and we're doing the John Carter, man. They find this like space gate in this underground cave, still working technology, and through various ways, depending on how the game master wants to take it, they find themselves through the space gate onto the red planet. From there, it's a story of survival. It's a story of different castes of aliens vying against each other for control of the planet. It's a story of a long forgotten race of these Martians that have been worshiping this kind of like eldritch being.
Yes.
Who's offering them magic in trade for sacrifice. And these Martians have their eyes on the mutants because their life essence is so much more valuable in that transfer. So you got it's pulp genre going on, Sword and Planet going on. I sprinkled in a little Harryhausen films in there.
You need a little bit of that Harryhausen Parmesan. I like what you're selling me, brother.
So it's really super expansive, and that was one of the things that I was kind of biting my nails going into this Kickstarter, is that unlike the other Kickstarter I did for MCC, this one kind of spiraled a little bit out of control as I was writing it, because I'm detailing a whole world there, the whole red planet and its atmosphere and creatures and this and that, and you get to this size where you got to decide what you're going to do with it. Are you going to go perfect bound? Or are you going to go hardback? Or can you get it back to a small enough piece that you can saddle stitch it? And I don't know about you, but man, I love the old school saddle stitch modules. You lay them flat, they're easy to work with at the table. So the only way to do that, I was going to have to go perfect bound with my printer's making up a nice big, old school fold out map for it.
Nice.
Throw on the play table. But I was going to have to do that unless I could fund enough that I could do 2 saddle stitch booklets. So like you got your adventure booklet, and then, hey, here's all the stuff for the red planet, all your monsters, your surface encounters. And that way, when you're done with the adventure, forget that. All right, we can still stay on Mars here. Let's do some of this other stuff. So
unbelievable that this is so it does seem that there's a sandbox aspect to this.
Yes, definitely.
There's a lot that the judge can do with this. It's not, this doesn't sound like a railroad to me, buddy.
No, it starts you off with like 5 ideas about like what you might want to theme the adventure around, like little hooks, that pulls through the adventures the players are going to have, the quests to go on. But it really leaves it up to you what you want to do with it. It's not a scene by scene kind of adventure like you would have had with like the old D6 Star Wars. And I'm going to be the first one to tell you, I love both types of adventures. I love sandboxes.
Sure.
I love this, the plotted out kind, if they're well written, that is. But this one's definitely more in the sandbox line.
Yeah, that's great. No, they're definitely, there's room at the table for both of those kind of things. Personally, I've been looking for things lately where I can build upon and mix with a bunch of stuff. So this seems right up my alley. What was give me a couple of movies that had their, you talked about Harryhausen. What was where'd you pull from it? What was your spice rack for this, Lou?
Well, okay, so this line of games I'm writing for MCC, I call it the Classics Mutated.
Classics Mutated. I love that phrase. Yeah.
It's so my catchphrase is, I can neither confirm nor deny that these games are all going to be based off of original modules from back at the dawn of role playing.
Sure.
And what I'm doing is taking them, trying to think about them in terms of a post-apocalyptic world, and then looking for like, what are the key encounters, the memorable spots on those, and how can I rewrite this where I touchstone those without just repeating them, and make it so that, if you've never played those old ones, you're playing this, you're having a great time. If you've played the old ones, you're playing this, and occasionally you're like, that's what he did with that one spot. Yeah, that's awesome. Oh, that's how he got that character in there, but it's still fresh, it's still new, and it's, it's my own thing. I'm not just trying to, rip anyone off. I'm trying to, do the homage, in some cases, a parody.
So I'm hearing, this is like fast forwarding to the future. So they might have encountered it back in a certain era, in the game. And now fast forward, time has passed. Bombs have gone off. There's been tech that is created, and now it still stands there, like the Statue of Liberty, in Planet of the Apes kind of thing.
Planet of the Apes, yeah.
Yeah, that's
it
awesome,
can be
Lou.
done that way, yeah, for sure. But so we got that at the Granule. So this one, this is called the Lost Citadel, or the Time Lost Citadel.
Time Lost
So it's
Citadel.
maybe based on a game that has something to do with a lost city, we'll say. All
I
right.
see.
Um,
Yeah.
and so then that's the Granule it starts with. But you know, we've definitely got. I did more books than movies as far as my my impetus for this. You know, a lot of the John Carter series is in here. I tried to. I really like some of those. You know, like African safari novels of the Victorian era. You know, like
Yes.
the Alan Quatermain and that kind of thing.
Quatermain, yeah.
So I try to get some of that in there, where you've got again this exchange of cultures with these Martians, in the different areas where they're living, and kind of the differences between the groups. I wanted to have some of this Flash Gordon, in this case, the movie. You know, like the the Queen soundtrack.
Yeah.
So we've got like flying.
King of the Impossible.
Yeah, that exactly.
Yeah, that's my Freddie Mercury, right on the nose.
You gotta love that stuff or hate it. I love it, man. So we've got some flying skimmers that the Martians fly out on. You can do battle on and have all that going.
Beautiful.
The original module is maybe one of the first instances in role playing where they kind of bring up a Cthulhian type creature. So I also wanted to get that element in there. And so when you get into the step pyramid, there's a very much Indiana Jones Temple of Doom sort of vibe to it, and this eldritch being is just the nastiest thing that me and my artist could come up with. He's going to be fun to deal with when your players get to him. The survival thing's just super big. I thought about trying to think of what the one was on that, but just the idea of, okay, here you are in this wasteland world that's been basically nearly obliterated by the anger of this god that was upset with the Martians at one point, this eldritch god. And so you're low on oxygen. It's a thin atmosphere.
Oh, nice.
Everything's troublesome. It's cold. It's windy. There's crazy weather effects that happen. There's hardly anywhere to take shelter but these distant ruins. And then you get into the ruins, and then there's the whole time lost aspect of those. That one of the final things the Martians with magic did as their world was being torn apart is cast a spell to kind of encapsulate that little piece of their city in basically dilated time. Oh, so now you've got a thing where you can have, it sounds complex, but the way it works through as the characters explore, it's not one of these things where, oh my goodness, let me read you 4 pages of backstory here.
It's baked in.
Yes. And so, you get characters into there, and they actually, because of the dilation, they have one of the plot lines they could do is they could go save actual ancient Terrans. Terrans is what MCC calls Earth. So there's actually, they can encounter these soldiers that went there long ago to do battle with the Martians. And there's a whole like rescue plot they can get involved in there. But then if they have people, if your party splits, who splits the party, right? Everybody.
Yeah, that happened today with the kids. Absolutely.
Yeah, kids are great at that.
Oh my God, they were trying to kill each other all day long. It was hilarious.
That's the best thing. You start a game with a group of youngins, and you're like, okay, this is a cooperative game. You're a party of adventurers. You're out to do this. You're 15 minutes in, and it's, I'm going to take his such and such. Oh, I'm going to hit him over the head with. It's like, come on, guys.
You want to learn how to judge a game, folks out there? Play with a bunch of kids. It'll blow your mind. It will blow your mind. You think you're good? Forget it. They'll rip you to shreds, and you'll walk away limping, but you learn something. Lou, so you have an incredible mind. Like you're going in all sorts of directions with this, and it all makes sense. But there's got to be a time where you hit a roadblock. And one of the things that we really focus on this show is creativity, or when you're feeling that you're not creative. I mean, even Luau must have stubbed his toe on a roadblock every now and again. So what is some advice you could give to some of the people watching this, one of the millions of people that are watching this? What's advice you got for some of us who get stuck in ruts? What do you do?
Sure. Yeah. Okay. So stuck in a rut, I mean, at the top of the hour here, man, you had that one down pat. You go do something else. And when I say something else, I mean something totally else, like not even related to gaming. Yeah. And that's always good for, if it's not going to solve the problem you have right now, it's going to inspire you to create something else, later on anyhow.
Beautiful.
My biggest problem is I'm very divergent in the way I'm thinking when I'm starting off. It's, these things come out of a spiral notebook with, all these ideas of ways I could go.
Yeah.
And, it's the hardest part is looking at a good idea and being able to say to it, not this time. That's a really cool thing I could do, but it just doesn't fit with these others. I got to put it on a shelf.
And that becomes another project.
There you go.
You're throwing seeds all over the place, Lou. It's great. So just because it doesn't fit into what you want to do, folks, put it aside. That's next month. Well, that's the next time you're freaking out and you can't finish your adventure. Lou, how many days are left on the Kickstarter? When does it wrap up?
We got exactly 1 week, 7 days. It's funded. We hit the stretch goal. But I will tell, I'm not trying to hardball sell anybody out there, but
Why not?
the way this
That's
works,
do it. Hardball them.
all right. So my first adventure, Seekers of the Unknown, right? This one actually could dovetail into that one as a sequel. It doesn't have to, but it also had the thing where with this one, it was it had the removable covers that were maps. Had two of them, kind of like those old school. But the problem with that is I can only do that through the Kickstarter. Because like all this other stuff's on sale for drive-through, right? But they don't do saddle stitch anymore. They won't do special covers and all that. So like, I've got, I think 15 of those left. I think Goodman has 40 some left. And once those are gone, they're gone. I mean, I'd have to reprint them and sell them individually. And I just don't do that. I like writing stuff. I don't like running a business.
It's
so your
tough,
only other
isn't
version,
it, huh? I like writing. I got to remember, I like writing stuff. I don't like running a business. Boy, what a balance that is, buddy. You just hit a home run with that one.
It's the, not to compare myself with him by any means, but it's like Gary Gygax, right? I mean, that was his problem. It's like, he just, he was a great creator and he didn't do so hot running TSR,
Business and pleasure. Listen, everybody out there that wants to make $1 million writing adventures or being a full-time gamer, be careful what you wish for, because something you love could be quickly something that's around your neck, like this polo tie. So, hey, Lou, so the Kickstarter, right now, the link to the Kickstarter is on the Goodman Games site, right?
I don't know, actually.
It is. So folks, all right. If you go to the Goodman Games website, right over in the corner now, it's very nice what Joseph does. He's got a link that says Kickstarters. You click on that, and it's all the active Kickstarters that are tied to any of the Goodman Games, third-party products. So check that out. Give Lou a hand. This guy, you can trust him, folks. He's gonna come through. He's come through with some beautiful stuff. He's got This is the Time Lost Citadel. He's got Seekers of the Unknown. And then there's the Dare Luck Club. We only got a minute to wrap this up, but that's that's kind of like a Goonies thing, right?
Absolutely, 100%. It's 70s and 80s adolescent adventure. It's not Stranger Things. It's not real dark and all that. It's just if you like 70s and 80s movies with adolescent adventure, it's 100% written for that.
Beautiful. I got a copy of it and I love it. I am a backer of the Kickstarter. And I'm a backer of you because you're an awesome person, Lou. Lou, you're gonna stick around for trivia?
Absolutely. I love trivia.
All right. I'm gonna do a couple of things and I'll have you back. Put your cologne on, get your hair ready. All right, after us, folks. So that's Luau Lou from Lafayette, Indiana, home of Axl Rose and Izzy Stradlin. So just in case you were wondering. So after us tonight, we got Welcome to Stanard with Nick Barron. So he's coming up right after us. So I'm going to wrap the show up in a minute. And then also check out as a Kickstarter, Eon, Ancient Greece, Volume 3, Monsters of Myth. That's another great ancient Greek adventure that we got going on. Kickstarter, third-party publisher. Very good there. You know what? I just want to say for a minute, thank you to everybody who watches. Thank you for all the likes on YouTube afterwards, keeping this scene alive. This brings me great joy. But I want to give a real heartfelt thank you to Joseph Goodman once again for building this community. Thank you, Mr. Goodman. It's helped me meet a lot of cool people. You've helped me stretch my creativity and pushing myself to make things. Everyday life can get a little tiresome, but it's nice to sit down with a notebook, push something out, and know that there's a guy across the country out there that's supporting small-time publishers got a really nice thing going. So thank you. I really love doing this pizza party and meeting cool people like Tony and Lou and all the other guests I got on there. And I want to, Luau teaches at, Lou teaches at Axel's old school. Holy cow. Also, a huge thank you to Dustcob for subscribing. Very, very nice. Dustcob, whoever you are. Thank you very, very much, my friend. All right, let's go. You know how it is here. Before we get into trivia, wisdom check. Let's get learned. Speaking about time travel, ooh, my buddy. I love this guy. Marcus Aurelius. He never even knew anybody was going to read this stuff. This was just his journal. So let's go into Marcus's journal and see what he said about high school today. Now, here we go. Ready? From Mr. Aurelius. Meditations. This is from book 11. This is a quick one, but this is what I want you to think about because it's cool. You're going to be okay. Green grape, ripe cluster, raisin. Green grape, ripe cluster, then you got the raisin, right? Every step a change. Not into what is not, but what is yet to be. I like a good raisin every now and again. I like a good grape. I used to like the vino, but not anymore. But all of those, none of them are the end. It's just something different. It's funny. I was playing, not to get sentimental. Let's get sentimental. I was playing DCC with my son today. And just the other night, we were thinking back about when the kids were babies, when they were small. You'd smell their heads and they smell like powder, like a Cabbage Patch Kid. Like, oh, I miss those days. They're over. I'll never do the diaper. But then I realized, holy cow, no, man, that was cool. But it's just as cool now, maybe even cooler. You get to interact. So just because the door closes doesn't mean everything is over. There's good stuff to come for you. I promise you that. Things might look dark sometimes, but Joey's thinking of you. You got friends thinking of you, and there's good things to come. So just because you don't got a bunch of grapes and things that started turning into raisins, raisins have their place. Raisins are good. Sometimes raisins can even sing. I heard it through the grapevine. Remember the California raisins? They're doing all right. I just was hanging out with them the other night. So salute to all of you. Here's a little bit of root beer. I love you all. I hope you're all taking care of yourself. Next show, we're going to get really weird. After we talk about Moss Man, we're going to talk about some dungeon crafting, how you can turn a stick into a mummified hand right in time for Mother's Day. So it'll be beautiful. Don't forget, call your mother. And if your mother's no longer with you, don't talk to her. Call somebody else's mother and tell her I said hi. I'm not being fresh, but everybody reach out to somebody who might be alone. All right. That's for Miss Calabash, wherever you are. Jimmy Durante. So, oh boy, it's been a crazy week, everybody, hasn't it? It's nice to relax with you all. And now I'm going to bring my friends back. We're going to bring back Tony, the Goulash King, and Luau Lou. And we're going to get down to business with trivia. All right, gentlemen, you ready to rock?
Yep.
Let's do this.
All right. Now, listen, I don't know the answer to these things. I got to look them up online. So I'm not trying to be a wise guy. I make them a little bit hard so it's considered trivia, not just a pat on the back and we pass out stuff to you. You got to work for it a little bit. Right, Lou?
Yeah.
Right there. Oh, that Lou, too. Captain Lou and Lou. We got two Lou's in the room. Here we go. All right. We're talking about post-apocalypse, the end of the world, radiation, and all those wonderful things that keep us up at night staring at the popcorn ceiling. Popcorn ceiling. What a thing, huh? I like it. What about you? Popcorn ceilings, they're tough to take down if anybody ever worked in paint.
Yeah.
Anyways, all right. Here we go. Let's make some money for these guys. Here we go. You ready? No cheating. Write it down. You got a pen?
Ooh.
First question. Yeah, I got to put the columns in. Lou, Tony. I got LT. All right. First question. And if you're in the chat, feel free to jump around. Oh, Neon Lord's in the house. Lou asks hard questions on his show. So I say, give it to him.
I deserve it, man.
I love you, Neon Lord. You got a great community too. I'll tell you about hey, guys, if I don't talk about raviolis before the end of the show, remind me. All right, here we go. We got to jump in. Number one, Mendeleev's periodic table of elements organizes the elements in order of A, chronology of discovery, B, atomic weight, or C, number of electrons. Okay, Lou has that one. Tony? What do you got? C, number of electrons. Close but no cigar. Lou gets that one. All right. Which one is a real element? Krypton, duranium, or adamantium? All right. There's Lou's.
I don't teach handwriting, by the way.
Oh, you both got that one. Neck and neck. Here we go. What author, this is not a multiple choice. Talk about the end of the world. What author wrote about Ice 9? The compound that was dropped into the ocean and destroyed the world. 3 seconds. 2, 1. Anybody? Give up. Come on. Kurt Vonnegut, Cat's Cradle.
Vonnegut.
All right. This fashion is named after the site of multiple A-bomb blasts. This fashion is named after the site of multiple A-bomb blasts. 3, 2, 1. Nobody.
Bikini.
Hey, it's the bikini. There you go.
Yeah.
You got it. The bikini. All right. Last one. How many elements are on the periodic table? A, 118, B, 96, or C, 76? $118. It was 118. Lou gets it, but Tony, I love you still just as much. You're still getting the gift certificate for Goodman Games, as is Lou. And as always, I throw a little something extra in the mail for you guys. Hey, you know what I'll do? I got some of those clams laying around from the nuclear power plant. I'll put it in a bag and I'll send them over to you. You put it in your goulash and we'll get rich. All right. Hey, if you like what I do, you know, whatever they say, like, subscribe, this and that, send Goodman Games money. Elena, you're the best. You're a great friend. You do a great job on here. If you like what I do, you got Pizza Party with Joey Royale. And then this weekend, every other Saturday, I got this thing called Raviolis for Randy with Neon Lords, and we talk about all sorts of films. This weekend, it's disgusting. We're talking about grindhouse films. I've had the most gory, disgusting, depressing 2 weeks of my life. My poor kids, my wife's not talking to me because of the movies I'm watching. So that'll be over on the Neon Lords Twitch channel on the weekend, on Saturday. We got a great show, Stenard, coming up next. We're going to do some adventuring. I love you. I love you all. You're great people. Keep up the good work. To my main man, one of my Toxic Lord friends, John, 7 years. Congratulations, buddy. I'm behind you the whole way. Keep it going. Good job. All right, everybody. Lou, Tony, Elena, peace out. I love you all. See you next month. Adios. Manja.